So this is the third part of the video for the line follower bot assembly. We'll be going through the assembly process. Before that, let's see what parts we have over here. We have the uh, line follower board, which has been already soldered. We have the ET spacers. We have small screws here. We have the nuts, and this is the chassis uh, which was installed or assembled in the last video. There's a small slight changes as per the video which you have seen in the for the chassis. Uh, the thing is that there are two casters here, so mounted on each side of the chassis. The reason is that there are two holes here, and if you place the caster wheel over here, you will not be able to mount it. So that is the reason there are two casters, and all your line follower assembly comes with two casters. The line follower assembly power supply is the two 9 volts battery. You get this connector which is supplied, so you'll have the two button type connector and one RMC on the other end. So you'll be able to fit it to the 9 volts cell which is here, just like this. Just check the polarity, it will go in only one direction. Okay, so this is the RMC connector which you can mount it to the board. So this is how it looks like. It goes in only one direction. Okay, so the uh, next I'll be telling you how this line follower board works. This is a line follower board which uses a blue LED and LDR as a sensor. You can either use LDR as a sensor, or you can also use a photodiode as a sensor. Either one of them will be supplied in the kit. Both works fine. Okay, so the LEDs, the blue LED is always powered, and the LDR here, it acts as a light sensor. The concept is that whenever there's an LED, the light coming from the LED, if there is a white surface on the bottom, so there is a reflection from the bottom, and then the LDR takes the reflected light, and this reflected light is amplified and then compared and taken to the controller. So, and if the surface is black, there is the surface absorbs the blue LED blue light, and the LDR doesn't get any of the reflections, and it will start it will not give any signal at the output. So for making this line follower work, there are two such sensor assembly here on the left and the right. The concept is that I'll just show it to you. So it will move on the, if this is the line, so it will be mounted on the front of the chassis, and when it moves, the line will be in the center. If the sensor falls on the white line, then you can see there is a reflection from the blue LED, and it will be able to sense this, and the respective motor, this side of the motor, stops working. So when this motor stops working, the other motor is rotating forward, and your robot will turn like this. I'll show it to you on the other part. Uh, so these signals are given to the Atmega 328 controller, and to change the sensitivity of these LDRs for different situations, we can use these two pot, and the output also, there are two LEDs which will tell if there is an if there is a reflection coming from here or not. Through this LED you can verify that, and you can tune with these two small pots here. I'll show you how we'll be tuning this in the later stage. So the Atmega 328 takes these signals, compares them, and gives the particular signals for the motor so that your direction is controlled, and we are using an L2390 motor driver for your VO motor. Uh, for guys who has purchased the pre-assembled kit, this is how the board looks like, and it is all ready and packed just like this. For guys who receive who have purchased the non the fully assemblable kit, then you will have to solder all the parts. For soldering all the parts, you will have to refer your schematic and the other drawings which are present in your manual, that is there in the CD which is given. Refer to them, also refer to the keynotes so that you can avoid interchanging or the opposite reverse direction connection of the components. So few warnings like the IC the notch of the IC should match the notch which is drawn in the diagram on the board, and all this a few key points has to be taken care of, and the LED polarities also has to be taken care. If the photodiode is given, photodiode polarity has to be taken care. If an LDR is supplied, LDR will not have any polarity, you can place it in any direction. So when you solder the component in this particular board, you will be soldering it in this position. So from the top you will be soldering it. You will have don't uh, cut the leads or solder it close to the board. You'll have to leave extra length of your uh, the leads which are there. Just solder on the tip, and then you'll have to fold it towards the bottom. So that is how your board will be mounted, and the sensor has to be positioned downwards. So in case if your line is on the top part, or if your line follower board is going under a surface and the line is drawn on the top, then this can be on the top position. But when the line is on the bottom, the sensor also should be facing bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead, mount this onto the chassis, and we'll see how this works also. We'll be using this 80 spacers, and let me mount this 80 spacers to the bottom of these holes like this. Okay, I'll use the small screws and connect it. So it is done. I'll position it on the front direction of the robot. Okay. So from the bottom, I'll put the nuts. This is done. Now I'll go ahead. We can go ahead and connect the motor wires. Right now I'm doing the motor wire connection just randomly, but uh, by default when the motor starts rotating, the wheel should go forward, and always the robot should move forward. There is no backward motion of the wheel, so always a line follower will track like this and go. uh, Now I'll connect the batteries. Okay, so this is done. The next part, we'll have to calibrate to the surface. which we are using for to make the line follower work properly. So I have a test uh, tape, white tape here. What I'll do is that I'll not I'll just lift the uh, robot, and first I'll turn it on and see if the both the wheels are moving forward. Okay, both the wheels are backwards. uh, so if both the wheels are moving backwards, I'll do one thing. I'll have to just interchange the polarity of each of the wheels. The wires, I'll just interchange them. This one other side and this one here. The same thing for this wheel also. Okay, now let me check now. Right, moving forward. So for, you can see the blue LED is glowing. Just align these two LED and the sensor. Okay. So while tuning this, the LED should be off, and when it comes on the white line, the LED should glow. For your ease, for this pair of LED, this is the LED indicator which shows it is on or off, and this side is the pot that we are using for tuning these two LEDs, the right side LEDs. Okay, so I'll just first make it off. Okay, so it is just off. Okay, but when it comes on the white line, it should go off. Let me tune it to the floor. So this is how it works. So the when you're doing the tuning, like make sure that you have a darker background and you have a white strip. You can use a normal white masking tape here. And both the LED should be off for the ground. These LEDs are off. When it detects when you just put the LEDs on the white floor, you will have to, I mean the white line, the LED should glow. So when it comes off, it should be off. So this is how it has to work. And on this LEDs. So if this is happening fine, then your tuning is done. So then once the tuning is done, leave it on the white line and start following. So finally we are done with the line follower bot. You can do many number of applications with this. For example, if you want to carry a blood sample or a lab sample from one part of the hospital to the other part of the hospital, so just you'll have to mount a container on the top of the chassis, put all the samples in there, and you'll have a track, a white line from one lab to the other lab, so that all the samples are carried from one place to other. So such repetitive jobs can be avoided using this robot. Similarly, many other applications can be uh, designed. It's up to your imagination. So finally, it's done, and start building the robots. And thank you so much. Have fun.